What's up, guys? Studfit here. We have another episode of Kart Talk. This time in this middle of this crazy celebration here, the Halloween tour. We're excited to have a number of our repeated guests join us again. We have ThisBeChris, Jeeves, and Bobcat. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for being here, or thanks for letting me be here.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome for me.
It's been a while.
Nice.
You know what? It's honestly been too long for ThisBeChris and Jeeves. It's probably been a month or two. ThisBeChris has probably been about maybe three or four. But
Yeah.
I just am so honored to have you guys supporting the channel at the level you do, and so that you always have a seat ready for you. Always have a seat, empty and ready to have you guys join us whenever we possibly can. So when I saw ThisBeChris was available Thursday night, I said, we got to do that. We got to get ThisBeChris on. So glad to have you again, man.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Have two guests joined for the second time. BigBroLo and Crazi. Welcome, guys. How you doing?
Hey there, glad to be here.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, both extremely knowledgeable players. I'm really excited to have you guys on, especially for this episode. Should be a good conversation. And then a first-time guest, TIlikum. Welcome, man. How are you doing?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Woohoo!
Many of you guys might know TIlikum from being the pit crew. He's also in ER, very knowledgeable as well. Busy guy, so I'm glad that he took the time, Pacific time, to be able to meet with us and to take some time away from his family to join us here. So strap in. We got 2 hours here. We'll be talking about Mario Kart Tour, specifically jumping into things that are really unique to this tour. The downside of doing this on a Thursday versus the Fridays, we didn't get to see the tour reveal, so we won't be talking about that. But there's enough to discuss. I think some of the biggest questions that were given to us from the members were around the spotlight shop. That's where we spent a lot of time. We'll also talk about battle mode and everything else going on in this insane tour. But before we do, I figured we get into, first off, let TIlikum introduce himself. So tell us a little bit about yourself, TIlikum. Where are you calling from? How'd you get started in Mario Kart Tour? And what's your favorite part of the game that we play?
Sure. Calling in from Long Beach, California. Mario Kart Tour, I was, I guess, probably a day 2 player. Started at the beginning. Mario Kart back in '92 was my favorite game. So when this came about, I got in it, got hooked. So I'm still here after 3 years. Favorite part about the game, I don't know. I guess I like the community. You know, it's like you log in, you check what other people are doing. You know, I like the friend list, friend scores. It's a nice sort of competitive gauge rather than just going against yourself. And obviously there's multiplayer too, but I do kind of enjoy like just the ranked and seeing everyone stacks up, comparing loadouts, all that jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've seen TIlikum on the pit crew chief list for quite some time. It's always been cool to see his loadouts. For whatever reason, I don't know where you might have went a little bit in a different direction from the rest of the community, but you've thoroughly thought out your coverage, and based on like that, maybe that one little deviation kind of led to another. So it's always like shocking to see these very unique get leveled up. I'm always super impressed because it's like, oh man, that would be so cool to do that, but I'm still kind of stuck here to the meta and kind of trying to kind of stick around to where things have the most coverage and stuff like that. It's really cool to see your loadout. So I've been watching from afar and respecting your game, so I appreciate you taking the time to join us. We'll have some fun here tonight. The icebreaker is, what is something you enjoy about battle mode? So, you know, we came into battle mode and we have some questions, some good questions about battle mode, but I think as we came in, we were somewhat skeptical, and then we didn't get it for a tour. I guess we got it in single player, but this answer can be for single player or for multiplayer. But just what's something you enjoy about battle mode? We'll start with TIlikum, kind of go in the reverse order that we introduced everybody, but tell us what's something you enjoy about battle mode.
Sure. Battle mode is something I remember from the '92 game. I distinctly remember playing against a couple friends of mine, so it's got the nostalgia effect. I actually liked it even in this more than I thought. I kind of like tanking. You know, it's kind of like you just go in and you don't always win that way, but I mean, there's one of the courses, you know, I got it has, I think, Gold Shy Guy who has the Giga Bomb. And it doesn't always work out, but it is really funny if you can get like a frenzy and just watch people hightailing it away from you. That was, I think, the most fun I've had. I was like cackling. But yeah, so I enjoy kind of the chaos and blowing things up, and then I think it's well designed. Like when you get eliminated, you get to start tossing bombs at the people left. It has to be so frustrating to get sniped out of someone that's not, you can't even see really. So yeah, I like it.
Nice. I like it, man. Cool. Crazi, I would imagine you're already very well known for your favorite driver in the game, which I'll let you announce. I'm not gonna steal the thunder, but I assume he's got to be one of the most fun characters in battle mode. Tell us a little bit about that driver, and do you use him all the time in battle mode?
Oh, let's do it. So my favorite character, I think a lot of you guys who know me know, and it's King Boo, Luigi's Mansion, or just the King Boos in general. I have all of them invested into. Of course, I use them all the time in battle mode. The bomb cannon is no good for scoring, but it's pretty fun to run around the halls and terrorize people with the cannon and just chasing people. It's very fun, and I've played a lot of matches with it. I love battle mode because it adds a new element to the game, and it's kind of a basic answer, but when we first thought of battle mode being added to Tour, I mean, it's you think how does this game play? It has no brakes, or would it have brakes, or with a finger steering? I mean, we barely got used to playing single player with your finger and no brakes, but battle mode, that changes the game, and I think that did a great job executing it. So I'm just enjoying playing the game in a new way with different drivers.
Yeah, and to go full circle, that King Boo Luigi Mansion, what's his level, and what's that?
Oh boy, I might get a little bit of I have him at level 8, and I have him quad cap. He's maxed out. I had saved some tickets in case we got a new King Boo for Halloween, but we did not. So I'm like, might as well dump them into him. I also have Gold Boo at 8 quad. So
nice. Well, you have a good tour to use him, because he's got four. You got 4 buffs this tour, so you gotta love that. Or was it 5? I'm trying to remember now. He definitely
it's 4. It's crazy.
4. It's absolutely insane. So you're definitely enjoying him for the one tour you can use him for. But I mean, honestly, I have a lot of respect for people who pick their favorite character and stick with it. I kind of wish I would have done that with Waluigi Vampire and just had all that sunken tickets in him, just because he's one of my favorite drivers. But I'm hoping there's a better Waluigi in the future. We'll see what happens. But much respect.
Yeah, crossing our fingers. Yeah.
You can only hope.
He's a cool driver though, Waluigi.
Yeah. Good. BigBroLo, tell us a little bit about something you really enjoy about battle mode.
What I like about battle mode when it's not in ranked.
Yes. Yeah.
But I mean, for me, honestly, in ranked, I just feel like it's story mode, and I don't know, what was that very first one? The cookie one?
Land. Yeah.
Circle for like 90 seconds. A small little circle, spamming as fast as you can and hope you didn't die. But I mean, actually, the most fun I had with battle mode was when we did was on your channel stuff, that we had a little group battle mode thing where we were just battling each other. That was a lot of fun. So in a multiplayer environment, battle mode's a blast. But in the story mode, like in ranked environment, I don't know. It just doesn't. It thinks it's too. I just think it's too forced. But in a multiplayer aspect, it's a blast. I think Crazi touched on every cool thing about it. But the one thing that's unique about battle mode that I found was that the controls are completely different. Like the length you have to maintain combos is like really exaggerated. And the whole idea you can maintain your mini turbo in a wall is strange too. So, but I do like it in a multiplayer aspect, not in ranked.
I'm with you there. No, I'm 100% with you there. It was nice getting these high scores though with the coinbox characters. We weren't getting that when you actually had it in ranked. Oh well. But Bobcat, what's one thing you enjoy about battle mode?
I'll be honest with you, it's not for me. What I did like was the cheat that somebody found, the hack. I actually went on there and did it with Tanuki, sat on top of the building. But my wife, honestly, Allah bless her. She's amazing. She got me to level A, and she got me to S+4 as well. I got myself to S+7, but she just, she has the patience for it. I get really mad when I hit someone and then they don't get hit. So like it just frustrates me a little bit. But I did actually enjoy jumping into Studfit's game. I don't think you were playing with anyone. You just got on there and was probably trying to level up. And
Yeah.
And that's when I did the Tanuki thing too, or at least I tried to. So you got me a couple times though. That was fun.
So that was you. That wasn't your wife.
No, that was me. Yeah. I was just like, oh, Studfit's playing. I'll jump in. So yeah.
Nice. ThisBeChris, what's something you really enjoy about battle mode? Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, you can kind of just copy and paste what BigBroLo said. I really didn't like it when it was in ranked. The multiplayer I definitely like more than the racing multiplayer. Plus, I mean, you've got the pipe. So for someone like me who, early on in the game kind of always complained about there not being enough after you've run through the courses, kind of those last like 4 or 5 days, it's a fun little element just to give you something else to do, just to to stick with it a little more. So that's definitely my favorite part of it.
I'm with you there. Jeeves, good to have you back. It's been a while, man. But what would be something you really enjoy about battle mode?
Well, first of all, I think Bobcat, I think you should hang on to your wife. So congrats, man. I'm really jealous. When they first came on, some of my close friends I would call them battle and then the F word with an S. Because I didn't like them. I'm still an advocate that they should not be a part of ACR. They should not be a part of ranked. It should be its own division and maybe have its own separate leaderboard on the Mario Kart Tour site if people want to go for that. Maybe that might happen in the future if there's more tracks involved, but I think maybe that's it doesn't feel it's not ACR to me. I think which leads to actually one of the things that I do like about it is that it's kind of more luck oriented. It's not, I mean, there is still skill involved, but it's also about your frenzy luck. It's with the monster points and stuff. So, you get some joy when you get like a really, really, luck. I mean, all these high scores, let's honest, like that's luck. It's all like, you just get all those singles. I mean, you can eat them up, but that's pure luck. So I kind of like that part of it. And which is why I don't think it should be an SDR, but, I do the Cookie Land one. It's kind of boring track. I didn't like the Mario Circuit one. I couldn't really figure that out. But the Twilight House is it's pretty smooth, I thought. So I actually really enjoyed that one.
Yeah, Twilight House.
I think the jury's still out on it for me. I think I'm gonna still give it a chance. I think it's just something we're all gonna have to adjust to. And I'll be honest, the past week I really haven't called them battle F word anymore. So
that's good.
That's good.
Anger management is good. I like it, man. Crazy, you had a question about battle mode. You want to spit it out?
Oh yeah, was it about the tracks?
I think you were asking about do you expect one new battle course per tour?
Yeah, how long can we continue to expect one new battle course per tour?
Isn't there like 16 battle courses in Mario Kart universe?
I think something like that in the past versions, Game Boy Advance, GameCube, Nintendo. When you add up all these versions, it's something like 16. So they could add one new track for per tour, and probably take us for the next year.
I mean, are we expecting all of them or all the old battle tracks?
That's a good question. What do you guys think?
I think that we're going to get one every tour. I don't know if it's going to be the next calendar year, but I think for the foreseeable near future, I think they're really going to push it, especially when you have to level up your player rank. That's just my stupid, non-educational based opinion.
Well, it's an interesting concept. I to your point, Jeeves, I do wish that they kept it separate and like let it, not be an ACR, not let it be ranked, but I think one of the top reasons is we just kind of only get these two battle courses. And so we have, like, if you're playing in multiplayer, you're playing with your friends, you just go between, Cookie Land and Twilight House, Cookie Land, Twilight House, Cookie Land, and you're just like, I wish I could, do some of the other ones. I wish we could mix it in. So I'm already like, and we only have 3 available to us, but I'm curious when we get, let's say we get to 16. Are we still going to be doing 2 a tour and just kind of going back and forth, flipping and flopping between these 2 or 3 tracks? I don't know. And at the same point in time, I don't want it mixed in with everything else for ACR. So I don't really know what I want, but I'm curious to see how they go forward. But overall, what's your reaction to battle mode? Has this been a good addition? How do you kind of compare it to what you were expecting? And maybe TIlikum, we'll get back to you since it's been a while.
Sure. Is it
Oh,
TIlikum?
no, you go.
All right.
Yeah, sorry.
The other TIlikum. Yeah, no. Crazy jumping in right afterwards though.
Sorry, apologize. Yeah.
You're good, man.
So yeah, as I said, it kind of exceeded my expectations. I don't know how long it'll last like that. And you make a good point. Like, we've never had a situation where, the courses rotate. They don't have, if you had 16 battle mode courses, I don't think you could have, I would not want 16 trekking through the game. That would not be fun. I mean, but yeah, as a standalone thing, I don't mind it in ranked. It was a nice change of pace. I don't think that'll stay. It is a little incongruous with the structure of the game. I think it might just be these 2 tours because it would sort of be introduced this way. But that's about all I got for that.
Yeah,
And that was a battle tour as well. So it kind of makes sense, battle tour, it's relatively brand new. That's all we could do for battle 2. But Crazi, sorry to interrupt you there earlier. Go ahead.
Well, I think my biggest surprise with battle mode is how they, for better or worse, probably better, they did not make balloons do anything. I thought this would be the perfect opportunity for them to make balloons another element of like income or way to get people like spending or whatnot, but they just made them completely like irrelevant in terms of how you race and whatever. They're just aesthetics. So that was my surprise.
Yeah, it was a surprise. I do know that on last Kart Talk episode, we had Koopa V, and he dropped some knowledge on us. I think something like 30 balloons have been data mined, or something ridiculous, 50 or something. So I do expect us to see a lot of balloons. But you're right. I mean, I don't know if they're not going to probably paywall any of the balloons. If they did, I don't know if any of us would spend
I know
money for them.
but like, if they do, who cares? Yeah, exactly.
I'm kind of glad that they don't do anything,
like,
that's kind of
if they
scary.
made the balloons like with a unique ability, like it would give you an extra hit or faster green shells or more bananas or something, that an advantage where you choose your own advantage for the battle. That would have been cool. Or
Well, I kind of was expecting them
like double speed or something.
Yeah, I can
in
see
that vein. I was kind of expecting them to kind of have it like as like a multiplier boost, kind of like you do with the gliders now. Like if you have a like a banana glider and then a like giant banana driver, how you get a little bit of additional points. So I thought they could associate the balloons that way, because then it would be a little more strategic, perhaps about which driver you pick, based on a balloon you have available. So
yeah, that would make too much sense.
I'm totally okay with it being aesthetic. I don't think we really need to know to have another strategy element. What I do like about, I guess, I think with the way that ACR is now that there's 3 more added cups, I think some of these battle, throwing the battle modes in there kind of just breaks it up, because like, if you're grinding ACR, it's a whole lot more 3 cups. So it's nice to be like, okay, I've spent so much time on this, this track, and I'm just gonna futz around on Twilight House, see what happens. And it's a nice little break. Again, I don't think it should be a part of the score, but it's a nice break.
It is a nice break. I get a little sucked in, to be honest with you. I get to play the battle mode track. I'm like, all right, I want to do this in multiplayer. I want to do this again, because it's kind of a fun break. It's hard to go back and forth between them.
Well, I'm just talking about the ones in ACR. I don't like the multiplayer part of it. My first time in battle multiplayer, I felt like I was not in the loop because everyone else was just driving into the corner and staying there. Like, you get in the lobby, like this is the first one, and I'm like, what the heck is this? and I'm like circling around.
That might have been a
no one's
glitch.
moving.
That might have been a glitch, actually.
I think that was the glitch. That happened to me when I first
A
started
glitch?
too.
Yeah,
Yeah, they were just everyone was stuck in the corners and it would
Stuck in the
sometimes
corner.
would fall
It
out
was-
of the level.
yeah. And I'm just driving around for a minute and a half. I'm like,
I got a huge score on one of them though.
yeah, but it's like
What? That's
it
crazy.
felt really awkward. I felt like I was like not part of the cool. I felt like I was not in on the memo. You know, like we were all supposed to just drive into the wall and just stay there and see what happens. And I never got the memo, and I felt stupid.
Well, talking about not getting the memo, Millie brings up the glitch that Bobcat talked about earlier. Twilight House, there's this little glitch where you can jump off one of the moles with Tanuki leaf, and you can get up on the roof of the middle of the building, and it's actually pretty interesting to see. But his question is, with that being discovered and being able to exploit that unique, I guess not even a skill, but exploit that specific track to jump on the roof, effectively making yourself invincible to attacks. Do you think this will have any effect on battles, or are people too lazy to put it off? You know, I think he's referring to more like, because I don't think it's going to help you at all in single player, because you're not hitting anybody, you're not getting any points because you're not going through the item boxes. But like in multiplayer, I mean, if we get to a place where we actually have like tournaments and leagues and stuff like that, is that going to be something that Nintendo fixes, or is that going to be forever like this, like, meta breaking, glitch that kind of is undefeatable?
I don't see them fixing it, just like I don't see them fixing Dr. Bowser or Gold Petey or some of these things that we feel like is wrong in the game. I think that it's
Dr. Bowser though.
They did. They
Yeah,
did.
they did.
Oh, that's good news. Okay, because there was this big thing online where everyone was talking about how that didn't happen. So that's good.
We're gonna definitely get to that topic, because
I
that's
hope
Yeah. But I mean,
more than a couple were
it doesn't. It's really difficult to see them. I definitely think that it can be fixed. I think that it's something that can be, or that where they make it so the top of the roof you actually like can go over. Because the thing is you're constantly moving forward, and there's like a little glitch. The glitch is really like at the top. So like if you're moving forward, it's kind of hard to. I mean, you could sit there and circle around and things like that, but it's not as easy to stay on. Like I actually got on and off once because I went too far right, and then it threw me off. So you can still get off of it. So I mean, it's just weird though, because you have to be able to jump, like you have to be able to go a certain like height. So I don't know. It's not that high up. It's you hit it, you Tanuki leaf, and you're on the roof. So I don't know, man. They're gonna have to put up like a fake barrier there. On all.
I would think that if it gets as popular as like Clan Wars, they would probably do something about that. But I think it's too early to tell.
It's really obscure, and not many people are going to use a Tanuki leaf, and I only see that really working, like you said, in single player. So
you
like,
mean multiplayer, you mean?
No, like single player to like grade up and things like that. That's how I used it.
Oh,
I tried to do it with you, and I just kept getting nailed by other people. So like, it didn't really work out for me.
Yeah, it's a novelty. I don't know. Maybe it could be really effective. I still feel like if everyone was using Tanuki leaves, they could just grab a bomb and then go up there and just bomb that person.
Yeah, it could happen for sure.
I mean, is it only if you use Tanuki leaf?
That's the only way.
Yeah. That's the only way we found. I tried doing it with just the regular leaf, and you don't go high enough. Yeah. You can't get high enough with it. Like it shoots you up instead of forward, where the Tanuki leaf kind of moves you forward.
Like boosts you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. So overall, it sounds like we have some mixed feelings about battle mode, but I'll be honest with you, I do think that it does bring in new players. It's going to bring in new players to the game. People that are like, hey, you know what? I remember when on the 64 Super Mario Kart 64. I remember playing battle mode almost exclusively. That's like all I did. I didn't really do a lot of the racing. So I could see it bringing a lot of people to the game, which we would welcome. And we've already kind of started to see it. I've had a couple people on some of those battle parties that BigBroLo you were talking about say, hey, I found this channel because of battle mode. I was just searching it and I wanted to watch people do it. And here you guys are. So he found our channel that way. So Battle mode. I will say maybe now's a good time to bring up the controversial Gold Petey. We won't spend too much time on it. I've had some.
I'm gonna need like a half hour, man.
No.
I mean, you really-
I want to be I want to be very careful about what we say, but yeah, Gold Petey. He I think a lot of the other PDs obviously were this heavy driver, and I think a lot of us as a tiebreaker lean on heavy coinbox drivers. I still use for me coinbox is still about coverage, so I use dry bones gold more than I do pink gold peach. So like for me, I still kind of value him more just because of the coverage, but a lot of people think that he's too small. So having a heavy hitbox driver, there is an advantage to that in the same way that there's an advantage to having a larger hitbox cart. But Gold Petey came out and he was a medium-sized driver. Now, for me, like I'm pretty used to medium-sized drivers between the coinbox Miis suit, the gold Miis suit, Mario Tuxedo. I'm good with medium coinboxers, but I think there were a lot of people that wanted a large coinbox driver. Having a large hitbox plus the coinbox was going to be very advantageous. But I was curious because I know StudFit came out and gave us a ticket to be able to copy and paste. I know he got some backlash on Twitter and everything, but ultimately I kind of want to put that part aside and ask you, does his hitbox, does that impact your thoughts on how you invest in him? And I think it's a topic of, in general, would you rather invest in like a Santa Bowser or a Meowser or, gold charging Chuck or someone with a larger hitbox for coinbox, or, do you not mind that? And medium coinbox is okay for you. So we'll start there. There's some other questions that kind of want to involve with Petey and some of just having all these coinbox drivers too, but just kind of want to touch on that. Does the hitbox matter for a coinbox driver?
Yes.
Well, I think I think of course it matters.
We'll get you 30 minutes started right now. Go ahead.
Who's going? Me?
You, Jeeves. Yeah, no, the other Jeeves.
Yeah, you Jeeves.
Okay, so I think coinbox does, hitbox does matter, obviously. I like to think that coinbox is still coinbox. It's still coinbox is king. We've all said it. It's nothing new. So, is it disappointing? I guess yes, because he's not. It's a reskin of of Petey, and it's not the same size. My question is there a rule that, like, I'm confused because like everyone's like upset because he's not the same size as the original Petey. I didn't know there was a rule that they have to be the same size. Is it maybe just like one of those baseball, understood rules that we don't talk about, or just there? I think that's kind of what I got caught up in. And in terms of this, like if you look at the comparison, like it's really minor. So like I don't, I get it, but I don't feel like I'm being shortchanged in a way. But the other thing is when you look at hitbox, you always got to look at what carts come with it. So when you talk about StudFit, when you went on gold dry bones, and God Mode has done the same thing. He's always tried to sell me on gold bones because and I'm like, no, he's small, he's small. If you look at the tracks that he's on, he has carts that are big. So he's paired with that. So, and that's why I think your investment in gold bones is very smart because he's got a vampire flyer. He's probably on a slow cart. Off-roader. Yep. Absolutely. And you always have to look at that too, because it's not just the driver, it's the cart too. So, but when push comes to shove, it's coinbox. And I understand, like, if you're really a fanatic of it or whatever, I can understand being let down about it, but I'm gonna stop there because I don't want to get into, I don't want to sound negative.
Yeah. Well, I think something notable about comparing like a driver's size with the cart. I recently I've read on one of the discords, but like a large driver in a medium average cart, I think is very equivalent to a medium driver in the largest cart. So, and like an off-roader. Mm-hmm. So I didn't realize that, like, according to data, the largest driver or a large driver does have a pretty big advantage over, especially a small driver, but even a middleweight, personally, I'm a bit disappointed with Gold Petey. I mean, I think they'll fix it. They fixed Dr. Bowser.
Will you be
I
upset
just
if
think
they don't?
I mean, not really, but I just think it's like a thematic blunder because Petey in like Double Dash, when he debuted, he was so big, his like head took up the whole screen. And if you take that driver and make him medium, I feel like, but then you make like Shy Guy Ninja medium, who's like also small.
Yeah.
I just feel like that's silly. And I mean, it's not the end of the world. I took him up to 6. I'm using them on Ghost Valley. It's not, I have him in the off-roader. I'm still getting lots of actions.
Yeah.
I just think it's a little bit silly.
I'll let you guys jump in, but also, the second part to that question is, would you still invest in him, knowing that right now, for the time being, and maybe for the foreseeable future, he might be a medium-sized driver? Does that change, your thoughts on investing in him?
So
Funny thing is, or you go on, yeah.
I'm gonna give you like the layman terms here, like the unnerd side. I give 2 quacks about his size.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to think of what's a quack. 2 quacks. Okay, got it.
So, but does he cover tracks? Yes. Initial offering, I think he gives me 4, maybe 3. I forget the number was. All in. Chips are in. Let's go. Because all he's got to do is just pick up some more. He's worth the investment. If they fix him then around, whatever. Still 2 quacks. But I mean, on back to his size, I mean, they dipped him in gold. So when you dip something in gold, they get burnt and they lose some mass.
That's clever.
Point. Yeah.
I think they'd gain mass. I think.
Well, yeah, they gain weight, but they lose size. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
So I've got to say that I like disagree. Like I went all in right away because I was like, all right, well, I didn't go all in on Chuck. I just moved into a 6, and I was like, I'm gonna go all in. And if I would have known he would have been a medium-sized driver, I would have not have taken him to a 7. I was gonna take him to an 8. I was just gonna wait until this week when I won, and then take him to a level 8. Now he's gonna be at a 7 and 1 and 1190. I was gonna triple cap him and take him to a level 7. Right now, and then take him to a level 8. But because he's not big, it affects it a little bit. I one of the reasons I wanted, I wasn't playing when Yoshi Gold Egg came out. So for me, that covers Maple Treeway RT. I don't have Volendam either. So like, I used Yoshi this last week. 200 actions is fairly easy on that track though, with any player. But it's just, it was a little disappointing. That's all. I mean, for me, investing in bigger coinbox driver makes more sense. Now it's like, well, with Santa, I don't have Santa Bowser to level 8. And that one I feel like is the one I probably should save the tickets now and take to a level 8 with Mary Mountain coming back around and things like that. So yeah, as far as investment goes, to answer that part of your question, for me, now I'm kind of at a stall unless they fix them. And if they fix him and he gets some buffs here in the next couple of tours, but now there's no reason for me to take him to a level 8 and triple cap. So I am going to save some tickets personally.
Yeah, it's the exact same for me. I took him to 6 just to use him in rank twice this week. I don't remember if I just single or double capped him, but I was ready to go to 7 or 8 triple cap. But for me, I had gold Misfit, question blockhead, and some other pretty recent coin boxer that are all kind of medium size. So for now, it puts the brakes on because he's kind of equivalent size wise with other people that I haven't invested in. So I need to see how the future buffs come. So.
Yeah, so that's actually I think the part 4 of the question. By having Gold Petey twice this week in ranked, with very little top skills, does it make him too attractive? Do you think this is a trap? Do you think that they want us to like drop a lot of tickets in him, putting his hitbox size aside? Do you think that they're making this too attractive? Because if you think about like his level 6 unlock for the Ghost Valley, like it's Dry Bowser Gold and like a bunch of other non-top skills. And then if you look at his track for Boo Lake, it's like atrocious. So my question is, I think there's a couple of investments that could have gone with, but I mean, my question is, did they make it too enticing to take him to level 6 at least to get that unlock for that track that there's no other skills on?
Absolutely. I think
did it trap?
Yeah, I think, I mean, if the only thing I feel shortchanged on is like I'm trying to save tickets to use on other Miis, and now I can't. And I don't know why. I mean, I guess maybe I could have just said, "Oh, screw it. I'm just gonna tank ranked. I'm just gonna take But you know, in the long run, I'll save the tickets but like it's you know, it's a coin box. You can't go wrong with coin box. Even if you did King Boo or King Mario, if you did it, he doesn't do anything right now. But like it's still coin box. And it's, you know, I'm just gonna have to wait a little longer.
You know, I think it was a trap. I really do. And not only that, my ranked is so easy. I don't even think I had to.
Everyone's ranked easy.
I don't think that I would have had to like move him to a level. I could have probably kept him at a 4, which is where I have
We should have waited just
King
to
Mario.
it out.
Yeah, for real. And
Ugh.
there's one guy that has him that could beat me, and everyone else either did it, like they didn't get him. Nobody else, just one other person in my rank.
Well, that's
So-
a good little sidebar thing there, because like out of, and not that you're in this like the next week, how many of your opponents actually have them? In my rank, I have 3 out of the 17.
Yeah, it's crazy.
If it was like a bloodbath last week, I mean, it was a bloodbath. I had to take Boomy till 6-2 just to win.
That's not a bad investment though, dude.
No, it wasn't. I was torn to go in with TIlikum,
Oh,
Mario, or Boomy, but I chose Boomy.
Boomy is a great investment, so don't feel too bad about that.
It's a lot of
Here's
people the Boomy. I will say though, the TIlikum, you and I were kind of chatting about this in the ER server about, you know, because the Mii drivers are 100 rubies and the other drivers are 150 rubies. I almost felt bad like putting tickets on Boomy because I'm like, this thing is worth 150 rubies, not 100, and so I felt bad like putting it in it. But I mean, it just made too much sense for last week. But
And
so
70, right, for one of them.
Yeah,
Did you-
70
Did
was
you
the
buy
first
the
one.
70?
The
Yeah.
first one, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I guess technically, I think twice. I think I bought the 71 twice. Look, what's your opinion on Gold Petey?
Well, so it's an interesting sub issue. It's sort of a side issue, but you know, it used to be, I would always get concerned when I see a driver and they get a bunch of, I mean, worst case city tracks, but even RT tracks. And Petey's got 5 RT tracks, but what's the future of RT? Like if it's is just as common as the regulars, that's not so bad. And so is it like a reverse trap? Because I looked at it and I'm like, yeah, but now RTs are okay. And I mean, obviously got 2 in ranked, and how often will they be back?
Yeah, it's
Well, I
like
mean-
tweak the algorithm to make sure that RT was appropriately valued, because that's kind of one of the things that we kind of treat it as like above a city track, but below, you know, a T track and or below a reverse track. So, but now it has actually, it holds a little bit more value. We don't know, but it does seem like, you know, recently RT tracks have been getting some respect.
Well, I
Yes.
was gonna say too, I don't know how special Gold Petey's level 8 track, the Ghost Valley 2, with the fact that there's like four coinbox drivers right now at the second tier, and you can, and if you have Petey, or I think he's the only boombox driver, but like it's probably
There's a Samurai
the
too.
only course where I've gotten like multiple double boom boxes playing. Like it's just crazy. So I don't know how special his level 8 is right now as well. So
But with him being a new driver, he can get buffs. That's
oh yeah. Well, I mean, coinbox is still
I think
king.
we're all banking on
What I was gonna do was take him to a 7 and then take him to an 8, because he actually did a lot for my account, especially with Maple Treeway RT. I was like, man, that's like, I think I had 5 courses, and he would have been the only one as of right now that would have gotten Ghost Valley 2. So I was like, I'm going to an 8, but now I wish I would have just gone with a 6 and then, you know, gotten a ticket and then used 4 tickets to get him to a level 7. Because that's kind of my goal, is to get every coinbox driver to a level 7. Because I'm not all in on the
Goal is
Miis
really
like a
tough
lot of you guys.
now, man. I was gonna say, with all the coinbox drivers we've been getting, it's been,
Yeah, it's rough.
you and I hadn't invested in any of the King Mario or even Gold Chuck. I didn't still have it, my Gold Yoshi at like level, I think 2 or something like that, from pulling him twice. But this was the first non-me driver I've invested in, this Gold Petey. I took him to level 7, and I'm not regretting it at all. In fact, I knew about the size differentiation before I made the investment. I still feel like he's going to be pretty good. I feel better about him than I do, especially I think coming out of the city tour, the anniversary tour, like knowing that we don't have cities for a while, you know, at least potentially we might have a city, you know, tour come in. But man, that King Mario, man, I don't think he's ever going to be able to get out of that, crawl out of all the city tracks. That's really, really tough. The other question we have, I think probably the biggest chunks that we have that were submitted by our members were around the Spotlight Shop, and specifically some good questions about peak value and how that all works out. But BigBroLo, you wanna jump into your prior to 3.0 question?
So yeah, so prior to 3.0, I mean, I would whale on a few packs from there in time. I love pulling pipes. I missed the pipe. The pipe was great. But last week I was sitting on like a little stash of like 700 rubies, and I'm like looking at the Spotlight Shop, the Miis shop. I don't even know what to do with the rubies anymore. Are they still valuable per se? I mean, yeah, they're still valuable, but like I don't know the approach of what I'm supposed to be doing now with these things. I think the economical or the smart thing is to do the coin rush times 10 if you actually get tickets in your daily shop, but that doesn't seem like fun. But back to what you said earlier, like I looked at Boomy. And I'm like, you're looking at just like I did the same math. I'm looking at these, I'm looking at 270 rubies. I get 3 tickets of something I'm going to use right now. So I bought all 3.
Yeah.
Right now, tickets are king, right? I mean, that's the most valuable currency in this game, right? So how do you get more tickets? So, but that's what it goes down to. Now, what are you guys doing with your rubies now? Like, do you wait for something that you really want at the Spotlight Shop, the new item? Are you just meeing it up, or anybody doing the coin rush times 10?
I'm doing the coin rush times 10. I'm probably a little unique because I'm a whale. I'm a mega whale.
What?
Shut up.
Thought you were free to play.
We just need a whale graphic. Just
You
to
and
pop
KG.
up.
I get a check from Nintendo and then I cash it in on rubies, and that's how it works. So no, I've only bought one thing actually so far in the Spotlight Shop, and you'll never guess what it is. I'll just tell you, I bought the 8-bit fire flower. Why? Because it was 1 away from 8. I'm like, okay, I can drop 100 on that. That's the only thing I ever bought. I still don't have the gonads level up anything through the Spotlight Shop. I don't. I think when I put 100 rubies on something, I just want to have it, because that's what we did with the pipe. You went through the pipe just to get the item, and then you use your tickets to level it up, right? Except for maybe like the special 50 pipe, where maybe you yeah. But so like I just can't make that transition.
So are you getting the other? Are you getting packs? Are you getting the $20, $40 pack?
Yeah, I do. I still do.
Multiple, I assume, or
yeah. I don't know.
This has been a weird transition for me.
Yeah,
Because I
think it's a unique situation. But I know there are other whales out there, and I think that's kind of what they do.
But that's a huge drop from what you used to pay, right? Like,
well, yeah, because it
only shows up once, and there's only 6 total,
so
right?
I'm still like quote saving money, I guess,
Yeah.
or not saving money. I'm using less money.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so and I think that's what I was afraid of, because I feel like with the pipes being gone, it's just total whale game, and I don't know if I'm cool with that, because like you can always buy rubies.
Oh yeah.
Whereas like whereas the pipes are around, you can get that one thing right off the bat, or you're gonna have to wait, or sometimes it's at the very bottom.
Mhm.
And it's I am whaley enough where I'm gonna go on 100 pipe 3 times just to get something 3 times. But now it's just like, oh, I'll just buy some more rubies. I'm not like that, but people can be like that. So it's definitely a change. But like, yeah, the Spotlight Shop, I only got that one glider. I did buy the King Boo Miis suit 3 times. But other than that, I'm just using Coin Rush, because what I'll do is I'll look at my shop. If I have tickets there, I'll Coin Rush it, get it. I'll do the reshuffle, and if I get it again, I'll go for it again. I won't get the cap tickets though. I'll only get the driver cap tickets though, not the cart and glider ones. I think the driver cap tickets are still kind of worth it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in an interesting spot with the whole idea of whaling now. I think that it's definitely changed for sure. I mean, I've never been a whale. I would say at most maybe a piranha. That's about it. Like I'd go in and get a pack if necessary, you know, like if I absolutely needed it, if it was something to where I could level up maybe a coinbox driver or something like that. So whaling is kind of different. I actually wrote down this it won't take very long, but if you do the premium plus, it's $1.67 a ticket. So if you do that for the entire year, it's going to cost you $520 and it's 312 tickets. So, I mean, you know, that's a lot of tickets and only $1.67. And then you go down to the premium plus, it's $3 a ticket, 260 a year, 104 tickets. And then the premium is one high-end ticket for $5. That's $130 a year for 26 tickets. So it's just kind of different now. It's kind of trying to figure out where you want to spend your actual income in the game. Cause I'd say most people here probably bought tickets. Most people that watch this have bought packs, you know, and things like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, the game has definitely changed. I'm sitting at 763 rubies. So I'm right there with you, big bro. I think it's a great question. I really do. I don't know yet. That's why I'm saving, because I have absolutely no idea, but I'm really looking forward to seeing you know, what they're going to come out with, especially around the holiday season when they kind of hold on to things like Bowser Santa. You only see it around, you know, that one time a year. Maybe something really special will come out during this, you know, next time. And then the New Year's tour. You know, I would tell people to hoard right now. That would be my advice. Hoard, and then figure out what you're going to spend and stick to it. Like, I'm not buying the $5 pack. I think that's the worst and worthless pack for one ticket for $5. I'm out. But may I buy the $20 pack? Yeah. I mean, maybe. I mean, that's $45 a month, you know. I mean, what brings you enjoyment buying a new game every single month? I mean, that's $45 a month. So it's not crazy, and it's a lot. 312 tickets, you know. I mean, that's a lot over the 26 weeks, 26 different tours, 52 weeks. So anyway, I know that was long and things like that, but hoard.
I think
that's what I would say.
think
Hoard.
the thing that changed for me the most is I've stopped becoming a collector, even with the drivers.
Yeah.
Last tour, I didn't get the new driver. I didn't get the glider. I thought the glider was
Wow.
I want it, like, it's so beautiful. Like that Panini one, I'm like, oh, it's gorgeous.
Oh,
But
the Panini.
yeah,
I wanted it too. I wanted to have some
Yeah.
tracks.
but like, I didn't want to drop 100 rubies on it. I'd rather do the coin. My mantra is, if there's screwing to be around, I want to be the one that's doing the screwing. I don't want to get screwed. And if they're gonna throw a bunch of this stuff, this gibberish, like in a spotlight shop of stuff that I don't need,
Yeah.
I'm getting, you know, so that's my mantra.
But there's a lot of new players out there. And,
Yeah, well, that's
you know, my wife's a new player and she's really kind of waiting on some specific things, specifically now Gold Chuck. She actually got Gold Yoshi last week. So like, I mean, there's so many opportunities for people. You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing what's going to happen, but that's why I mean, hoard as much as you can, just for now, until, because they may switch things up again. You know, I mean, March isn't that far away.
level 9.
Yeah, level 9.
I bet ThisBeChris is ready for that.
Oh my God.
Aren't you, buddy?
TIlikum, you were gonna jump in there when Jeeves was Chuck.
Yeah. So I used to buy. I bought pack. I mean, I buy packs, and it's weird for me because I was never a ruby buyer. I don't think I maybe bought pure rubies once in 2019, but I would buy a pack. It's just weird to me. It feels, I don't know. It's too abstract just to be buying rubies in packs. It's sort of changed it for me. But yeah, they don't seem to do much. And the first week I blew all my rubies. I was being a completist. I was buying a bunch of stuff I didn't have. But now I realized, you know, the only things I don't have at this point are like, you know, cat carts and baby carts and gliders that have green shell, which I will not use. So I'm like, I think I can hold off.
Yeah.
I'm kind of particular about carts and gliders. That's why my loadouts are weird. But yeah, it was a big change for me, just the way packs. And yeah, so I'm saving money. I'm fine with. But yeah, the new premium challenge thing, I would have gotten it anyway, but that makes it sound even more attractive. That's definitely the way to go.
You bring up
side note, real quick.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Google Rewards. I'm now getting about $20 a month just doing Google Rewards. So plus pack.
I think Frenzy Fans promotes that kind of stuff. I see it on his server. He's like, remember
Yeah.
Google Rewards time. I don't know what that is, but okay.
It's like for the Android people that's using Google phones or something, right?
Yeah. You get just a random survey and it takes like 2 seconds and you get like 50 cents.
Wow,
No.
So it's
you go.
about 20 bucks a month I get now. It's
pretty cool. I like it. I like it. Yeah, good. No, I think we'll probably spend the next 30 minutes or so talking about the Spotlight Shop and everything going on. So because it is unique. I mean, honestly, that was one of the things that people asked about the rundown is, hey, can you help me decipher what's going on here? What should I get? What shouldn't I get? And I felt bad, giving any advice one way or another, because everyone's accounts can be so different. And really depends on everyone's account. So I always put like the heavy disclaimer of like, please look at the spreadsheet, but here's some things I that may work for your account. But again, keep going back to the spreadsheets, like look for your account. So I felt bad, like giving, there are some things that make sense for some people to get, and some are more obvious than others. And so I think it's one of the hard parts about being a content creator is there is a lot of like responsibility to like, you don't want to lead people down the wrong way, but it does, I think in general, people just wanted to be kind of reassured that they're making the right decision or something like that. So I don't know. I fought with it for a little bit, but I felt like it was better to just kind of, especially the newer players, just kind of nudge them in the right direction. But yeah, I think with the Spotlight Shop, I did the same thing where this TIlikum is like, I'm like, oh, I gotta get this. I never got the Coral Jet Cruiser, and it didn't go into that 100 pipe. Oh, but look at this. I can finally get this, item here. I finally got the tropical balloons, but I haven't done anything with them, So it's like these things where like, you wanted to have it. You finally got the opportunity to get it in a very unique way. But then you're still sitting there with the rubies, and you're like, what do I do now? I mean, honestly, I think seeing the rubies in these packs now, almost like to me, it almost like I'd have to be like a compulsive whale to like get those packs consistently. So for me, it's been really, really easy transitioning to this, GP90X, which is now just like getting all these premium challenges. I'm curious, do you think we'll ever
your GP90X?
What's that? Yeah, no, it's hey, but that was the purpose of it, was to spend only what I needed to. And so I'm not compelled really to buy any of these packs because they don't have anything in it. But I'm curious, do you think they'll ever add anything to the Ruby packs in the future?
No.
I think it depends on how many people buy it. It's at the end of the day, they're just trying to maximize their earnings. So, but real quickly, I had like a thought that from like the last question that kind of ties in some investment, Ruby and Spotlight Shop, everything together. So my one thought, I mean, and it kind of hinges on when we see PD Coinbox show up in the Spotlight Shop, because going forward, if one of the main reasons we pulled on pipes was to acquire new drivers, right? Which is now you're going to potentially have Ruby locked courses instead of pipe lock courses. So the other thing to watch out for is how many of the new courses, like say over the next couple of months, the top shelf is dominated by newer items that like after the update you would have had to use your rubies to purchase. If we see Gold Petey come back pretty quickly, let's say like 3 or 4 tours, to me that's going to disincentivize people to then use their rubies to get coverage to win ranked rewards, right? Is that am I making sense at all? I kind of want to make, maybe not.
Yeah. So it's going to be what I think is interesting as a caveat to what you're saying is that there are some drivers that are going to be at a smaller rate, like a gold charging Chuck, where we aren't going to be guaranteed, even if he were to come back in 4 tours from now, he's probably going to be at that smaller rate that the gold items are. And I still personally believe that drivers that are tied to a city, are not going to come back in these spotlight shops. So, you know, I don't think that like Ty Daisy or Volendam or even King Mario are going to come back like all these other drivers are, because they're tied to the city. And so whenever the city comes back up again, maybe it'll come back in the spotlight shop then, but I don't think it's going to come back like we've seen, you know, the ice cream stuff come into this tour. I do think they'll kind of treat it a little differently. Time will tell what that looks like. But I think like, you know, Santa Bowser, you know, he'll come back in the winter time. We'll find, you know, he'll be in our spotlight shop. And then, you know, next time that we have Bangkok 2, you know, then we'll finally see Ty Daisy. But that may not come for 6 months. We may not have Ty Daisy in our spotlight shop for 6 months. So, you know, I don't know if that changes your question at all, or kind of, or is that what you were already saying?
I think a little bit. You raised some really good points. I guess looking more forward to if Gold PD ends up having, you know, average to below average value for the meta, like it's going to set a really poor precedent for, you know, people investing resources into gaining something, even if it comes back and you say like, well, it's going to be, you know, it's a gold, you know, it's a coin box, so it's going to be really rare to get in the spotlight shop. Well, if he doesn't have good coverage, then who cares how rare he is? Whenever he happens to show up, you can grab him. You know, but if there's, you know, if he has great value and they sort of, you know, maintain the status quo of, you know, when ranked rewards that are plus skilled drivers, if you have to invest to get them, you're going to get paid off, you know. That could be a way for them to sort of force players, even like in the tier, you know, 40s, 50s, 60s, into, you know, using rubies to gain items so that they can have top shelf coverage and then get these, you know, drivers that are going to be, you know, have a sort of really good shot of being very valuable.
Yeah, I think to me, seeing like this Gold PD and these rank rewards, I think rank rewards are the future for like value. I think so. Gold PD, I mean, we were talking about this earlier, but his start looks very baity. I mean, he has those 2 very powerful tracks in ranked, but other than that, I mean, he has the 3 tracks and has this whole like heavyweight situation and or middleweight. I think Nintendo is going to use these ranked rewards to get people to invest, and I think they also want people to get excited on these items. So I don't know what they're going to do. This whole spotlight shop era, it's a new part of the game, but I think they're going to make these ranked items worthwhile and worth your tickets, worth your time. They're going to want people to get excited and spend resources. So I would not be afraid.
If you're a newer player and in order to win ranked, you had to spend 200 rubies to get a cart for a top shelf on one of your ranked tracks and a glider for another track, and you had 300 rubies total. And it's like, man, am I going to spend like 2/3 of my rubies getting this stuff? If this driver ends up, you know, if the ranked reward drivers are known for being like, you're not going to do that. You're just going to hoard those resources, and that decreases the likelihood you're going to spend money.
Well, I would add that if you're a newer player, though, I don't like with my kid. I don't know if with stuff with your kid. I don't even think my kid could get Gold PD in his tier.
Well, so my son's account is the new one he created here. Probably, I think he's at like tier.
He's on my friend list, so.
Yeah, no, I think he's on tier like 22 or something. And honestly, every ranked has been pretty much a cakewalk. He doesn't need to, and they're throwing rubies at him because there's so many challenges and stuff he's unlocking all the time. So they're throwing rubies at him, and really his ranked has not been challenging at all yet. But I'm sure once he gets to like, you know, tier 40, it's going to start to get a little bit more competitive. So I think newer players, I don't think it's, and honestly, that gold pipe, the red vampire flyer, and Gold PD, and I think like
right. But is he able to get Gold PD?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He already
I
has
think all tiers can. I think only the Miis are locked at 50, tier 50 and above.
Yeah.
Everything else is accessible.
What level is he?
I think he's
I haven't looked at
level
his
13.
account, but
I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Chris, my wife's I think she's at a level 29. I mean, you had to get first place in order to get it at that level.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all the other items were available. So I think to newer players aside, because I think that's actually pretty easy for them.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, if they had Gold PD available for everyone, regardless of tier, I think that's good. So yeah.
But no, I mean, I think you bring up a good point, and both you and Crazi in that, like, we are in unprecedented times. I think there's always like this like extra tier that we put like paywalled items, like, you know, the yellow off-roader for a while and stuff like that, where, you know, like you can't get it unless you pay the money, and
Right.
like
The
that
Armored
was,
Rider was one of those too.
yeah, no, I mean, I think that even the Black Race sale at first was like a paywalled item, and it got so much good coverage. So I mean, I do think like that was the item that everyone wanted, and it was paywalled, and it was even Armored Rider. Yep. So like it's going to be interesting to see this new wave. Like, what is this, you know, creme de la creme item that is going to have the best value? It could be Gold Petey, could be, maybe they don't do that anymore. My guess is, you know, they'll probably still find a way to do that. But yeah, I don't know what's going to be the most attractive items for us to invest in, or that Nintendo's going to buff better than others. But I think they just made it kind of a mess. You know, they kind of burnt Rome, having all these coinbox drivers, and, you know, like, I don't know what to make of it. I don't know. I think everyone's coverage is going to be a little different, and it's going to be a little staggered. I don't know what's going to be like the next yellow off-roader, or the next, you know, Black Race sale, or, you know, for this spotlight shop,
Or if there will ever be one of
Yeah,
those
I was
again.
gonna say that. I don't think it's gonna be like that.
They have so much cart inventory built up from like the last 10 tours.
And so many tracks that have come out. I mean, I literally like prided myself on having a top tier glider and cart and everything, you know. I still have a top car driver and cart, but now there's 2 courses that I don't have a glider for. That would have both been covered by the stupid chocolate pretzel. But that's my fault for not picking it up. But, you know, I mean, that's the whole thing is if they keep bringing out about 8 tracks every single tour, or even if they just bring out like, you know, maybe 4 and then another one, you know, with the RT or something like that too. I mean, if we're seeing this many tracks, I don't know if we're going to see the coverage whales anymore. And that's, you know, it's a little disappointing, but to be honest with you can't have it that way.
No, you can't.
If you have something come out, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna make the game a little bit too easy. People just save
the
it up.
diversity of accounts are just gonna be off the charts, and I think
so
that's
too.
a beautiful thing, to be honest with you. As
I do too.
frustrating to me as being a whale and stuff, because like you put so much money in it, but like you don't want it to be a game where it is just all whales. You want to be able to, you know, fill as many gaps as you can, do the research and stuff. And I really think that's what they're doing. And I know I'm kind of getting off topic here, but one of the things, you know, there's been a lot of criticism with Nintendo. So I think one of the greatest things Nintendo has done with this game is they do such a good job of making everyone, regardless of player level, player type, or whatever, they do such a fantastic job of making everyone a little bit uncomfortable, no matter where they are, and they still kind of bring you back. And I've said it before, I think in other episodes, it's like pro wrestling. They give you like a really not satisfying outcome, but you want more. You want to see what happens next.
And that's how they get you hooked. If they make it too hard, you're going to give up. If they make it too easy,
it's a beautiful thing. And you know, my big thing was this tour was the number in Studfit. I was texting you. You're like, hey, how you doing? I'm like, I can't get over all these tracks. I have these crap levels. I'm gonna be going in with a level 3 green cat crew. I don't even know what the hell it's called, but it's green and it's small, and I'm gonna use it on this track. And I'm not gonna even touch. I mean, I'm not even gonna level it up. It's just, you know. But I want to see what happens tonight when they do the preview. They do such a good job about that, and I can't stress that enough. And I don't think people talk about that enough. So I really want to. Sorry, I'm getting.
No, actually, that's a good segue to Crazi's question that you asked about pumping out even more tracks this year. If you have that on hand, Crazi?
I do. Yeah. So we're seeing Nintendo pump out even more tracks as the year goes on. And Donut Plains 3 is. This tour came out of left field, at least in my opinion. And if you count the extra RTs in the battle course, we're up to an unprecedented amount of new tracks in one tour. What does this mean for the game's longevity? I mean, what will we see if they keep doubling up on tracks? Will they have nothing left? That's my question.
I don't think they'll ever run out of tracks, but I do
I mean,
think
they have a finite amount.
I think they have a finite of past tracks, but you know, we haven't even tapped into as many cities as they could bring into the game, and you know, they
and the RMX and the versions of each one of them too. I mean, they could just keep it going.
I mean,
Again,
honestly, to Jeeves' point, that's kind of why I thought it was a good segue. Is like, you know, by keeping us on their toes is by just giving us like twice as many tracks every tour, because we're so set on getting coverage and maximizing our coverage, and then they give us a crazy amount of karts and gliders and drivers, and then in addition to that, get a crazy number of tracks, and then they add 3 more tracks to all cup ranking, and next thing you know, we have no idea what's going on, and we're like scrambling to find out what to invest in. And yeah, I think it's a very compelling question. I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are, because I don't know what this, you know, what the meta even means anymore. It's
So
like
There is no
one way
meta.
to look at this
Dude.
is one way to
mind
look
is
at this is that they're giving you all these tracks, right? And then prior to this point, they've been giving you all these plus skills. And I think there's a question about this, but I think I'm going to hit both of them at the same time. So there's a big mass flood of plus skills and overlap and this and whatnot. So now flooding it with a lot of tracks spreads out that plus skill or that whole ocean out, where you can now sprinkle them across tracks, which will then open back the whole gateway of like those random one-off, you know, dud skill drivers that like Tanuki Rosalinas or the Black Yoshis, like the random out of the wall spotlight new drivers that can really rise up to the top and compete with like the meta drivers. So if they keep on adding new tracks, and a lot of them, they can spread out that whole idea and then have the dud skills matter again.
Yeah, that's very true. Good point.
Yeah, I mean, do you think dud skills will matter though? I feel like almost every track that they've released, there's been a top
I think
skill.
dud skills will matter for the Mises.
The thing is, like for Donut, some of these tracks, I mean, they'll have like 1 plus skill, but for example, Donut Plains 3R, Ty Daisy, she's the only plus skill there. She's the only coinbox I don't have. So I'm using Dr. Peach level 1. Like
don't have her
I get
either.
a lot of people, like they'll have that 1 plus skill, like if at least in our communities, I mean, because we're pulling for all the coinbox and the boomerang, but a lot of players, they might just be missing that 1 plus skill on that 1 track, and they have to resort to something else. So I think even with that, they'll sprinkle 1 in, so it's not like people who do spend and whatnot, and they collect all the characters, they feel they're being rewarded still. But those other options, they still can be used if you happen to be unfortunate enough to miss the 1 plus skill on it. So there still is use for it.
This week's ranked is a perfect example of that, right? So
Oh yeah.
for Geedy, we would be sunk. However, going forward, if they keep on doing all these tracks and they stop releasing plus skills like every other tour, if not more. So I think there's what 45, 48 plus skill drivers in the game. So of course, like the cover, they're going to overlap. There's going to be 1 in every course. But if they come out with if they reset with this whole spotlight idea and going forward, more tracks, flood a lot of tracks with the RTs and every other version there is, and then just have 1 driver kind of pop up or 2 drivers pop up, you know, with the Miis suits, there's going to be more dud saturation than there is plus skills on new tracks.
Part of me thinks too.
Right. It would have been cool to see like what would have happened here had they not given us all these top skills. Like if you remember like the DK Junior SNES a while last year, he just like kept getting all these tracks, and he was like the closest we had to a top skill, and he just kept getting them. You know, I almost kind of, it would have been cool to kind of see that. I wish they would have given us all these top skills bang to bang to bang. I know we were all like not so excited about having to invest in all of them and having to pick one versus the other, but I just think it would have been cool just to see more situations like this Donut Plains where I'm using, you know, Peach. And if they didn't give Peach on the top shelf, I don't know what I'd be doing. I think definitely in a different place. But what's your thoughts, TIlikum?
Well, one thing I noticed, and it was at least one, maybe like the Donut Plains 3 is like they're kind of funneling into using Giant Banana, because they'll have both a Giant Banana driver and then like a bunch of banana gliders. And like for me, I never invested in banana gliders, but now it gets tempting. So it's like another way they can sort of get you to like, where do I parcel out my resources? Because you'll still have a top skill. You're like, if you really want to maximize it, you want the giant banana with the banana glider.
The other advantage to Nintendo, you know, kind of sticking with sort of that, like kind of what TIlikum was just mentioning, is that when you have now these new things to invest in, or like, oh, cool, I have this one thing on, you know, that's on the top track, it incentivizes you to buy those tickets, you know, because you might not have a ticket that you wanted to put on a banana glider. You want to get your, you know, whatever, you know, for some monster you have from 7 to 8. But now it's like, oh, do I do that, or do I put 2 or 3 tickets, you know, on this glider I might not use a lot? Oh, well, if I spend $20, I don't even have to use those tickets. You know, I get them for, you know, that kind of money. So it'll be really interesting going forward. You know, I think just seeing how the new tracks and the new drivers, the buffs and how often they're in ranked, I think is going to like really impact how we use those resources.
Yeah, talking about resources, if that's okay with to change the topic a little bit. This is a good question from Carlife about the Spotlight Shop. You know, we're 2 tours into this new era and are just starting to wrap our heads around purchasing and investing strategies with this new setup. The one thing I'm focused on is this: the 4 tour gap between an item debuting and then later reappearing as a Spotlight Shop item. During this time, it is essentially basically locked in this vault. There's no way to get it once it's given to you, that released initially, until it's released again. Will early ranked value be emphasized during this window, or continue to kind of see this peak of 4 or 5 tours after its debut, thus allowing players to purchase that item just as the timing is right? Question mark. So he gives this example of the Shielded Speedster, which many of you saw in the stream. I took for the rundown. I took to level 7. I've since taken it to level 8 and triple uncapped. So I'm and mainly because I'm all about the algorithm, man. And here's the thing about this tour, right? So I've been saving for maybe one day going for a top 10, but then I think that there was something about this tour that's made me very compulsive. I hate having like really bad loadouts across the board. So I got you know, Speedster, this Shielded Speedster. I was like, well, you know, I've already taken it to 7. Might as well take it to level 8. You know, if I feel it's going to have as good of an impact as it will, I mean, I might as well put all my eggs in that basket. And then I was like, well, I have too many glider tickets then. So then I was like, well, I'll do that with the Wicked Topaz. Might as well do that with that. So I took that one to level 8, triple uncapped as well. And then I was like, well, for ranked, I still need a really good cart. So I took the Lightning McQueen to level I think 7, just 1 uncapped. And then Gold Petey came out. I was like, well, I don't have a driver. I need this for level 6. So I basically dropped like 40 tickets. And so I'm really good for my loadouts. But there's something about this tour where I hated not having good loadouts, and it made me compulsive. So anyway, going back to Carly's question, this Shielded Speedster already, I'm very pot loaded into this. I'm really hoping it pans out. His question is, will this be available? This Shielded Speedster seems to be available the tour after the autumn tour. So next tour is the autumn tour. We'll find out what that looks like. Probably people watching this have already seen it, but it'll be that tour after, if the pattern holds. So we might be able to catch for me, and he's kind of, you know, asking kind of a question in my situation, right? So am I going to capitalize on its value next tour during the autumn tour, or will it be perfectly set up so that people can get the Shielded Speedster the tour after? And is there any advantage to doing what I did, which is investing before it's re-released to the public? What do you make of this 4 tour exclusivity period? How long will they incentivize players to actually purchase new items rather than wait 4 tours to see how they do? Loaded question there. What are your thoughts? Am I an idiot?
I think the meta has changed. We're in this idea where this still exists. I don't think this still exists anymore. You've touched on it for sure, I think last week, where there are items now in the gold pass that are showing up and rank quite a bit. One you guys didn't touch on the rundown was the gold standard. it is huge for my account if I take it to a level 6. I just have this bad thing about taking like these little baby carts up, but it covers 6 courses for me right now already. So I don't think that I think the meta's changed. I think that used to be what we see is like we'd see like, hey, you know, let's see how it does. And now it's like what you did. What does it do for me right now? Is it going to help me win ranked? Do I want to win ranked? Is it okay if I get second? These are all just different questions now. And I would tell him the same thing that I would tell, you know, my wife. If it helps you win ranked and you want to win ranked, grab it. If it doesn't, don't. You know, there's if you really like the look of it too, I mean, do it. I wish I would have gotten the panini, honestly. I really like the look of it, and I have 768 rubies. It's the only one that I really would have wanted now. So just, you know, I think the meta's changed. I think this whole 4 or 5 week tour window, 2.5 months of not having an item and waiting to see if it catches up. I don't know. It's hard. And if you get up to 1,000, which is my goal, I'm going to grab it and I'm going to sit and wait on it and then, you know, grab some tickets. And then I think that's where it's going to change. Is it's almost like pulling a pipe. You grab the item and wait and see. I'd say do it for the things you like, the things that look good. And if it helps you in ranked. So,
Yeah, well, and I'll take it a step further as kind of a whale on an ACR player is in StudFit, you're doing the same thing. Is, I mean, personally, like, I would love to get the badge. I would love to get a top 10 badge. I've been grinding my butt off past couple tours. I've had some high rankings. I think the thing that's really kind of holding me back is that I don't save enough tickets and just kind of splurge on that tour where I can get a top 10. A pure example, I think, is Natalie. I talk about her a lot because she's like my best friend in the game, my Mario Kart Tour girlfriend. Hi, girl. She got top 10 last tour.
Mhm.
She saved up a bunch from her last top 10, which she saved up a bunch for there. And like she took that panini glider, she took it to 8 quadruple capped using a bunch of tracks. And I think that's probably the new, I guess, meta or, you know, thing of the game, if you know, to do. So, you know, I don't know if I'll ever get a top 10. I would love to. I think I would like to say, like, you know, if I ever pass my account along, I think my account deserves a top 10 badge. I don't know if it'll ever happen because I don't think I'm that skilled of a driver, but you know, with practice, I can get there. And it's also a time thing, obviously. But I think that's just the thing that's missing because, like, I am the worst saver. Like, I always say, "Oh, I'm gonna save." I always say, "Well, what the hell did I just do?" I just took I just put PD Gold to 6,595, or no, 6,1190 or 1190. I took, I threw tickets on the jukebox buggy just because I think it's pretty good on my account. I put tickets on King Boo Me, which maybe gave me a track, but it's a Miis suit. You know, I'm trying to keep up with it, but I'm struggling saving. It's so hard to do. And then
Yeah, I can.
Natalie
Go on.
keeps saying, you need to save. You need to save. Stop trying to get into the top 20. Stop trying to get top 50. Just save and sit back. You know, whatever. Anyway, I have problems. I'll let you guys talk.
Well, it's like isn't the most famous example that Japanese player who's like gold pass only, who's like really into Toad, and
Or
he
Toad,
didn't
was
spin
it? Yeah.
anything, and then it was the Toad tour, and he took like I had him in my ranked once. I'm like,
Yeah.
who is this guy? And he,
And,
and
like,
he had,
I'm
like,
waiting.
nothing,
I'm
but he's,
waiting
like, all
for.
the
I'm
Toads
waiting
were,
for.
like,
I'm
and he
waiting
get a
for
top 10
ERC.
badge.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Stanler to use his 100 high-end tickets. Oh, and God, hopefully that's not the tour that I go for.
I
So,
mean, geez, I can kind of relate to what you're saying. Now, I'm not
Yeah.
eligible ever for top 10. I mean, I've gotten top 100, but top 10's out of my league. But the tours, when I'm saving and I'm not spending tickets on these new items or items that are useful, it's just so much less fun not investing in those items, and that's what makes it hard for me to save.
Right.
It's fun. It's it's enjoyable adding tickets to these items you love that are in ranked or just. I mean, I came into this tour. I just like, why not? I just took a few of my boomerang drivers I like to level 7. I had this ticket stash save. I don't use them in ranked. I just wanted to because I thought they had good coverage, and I was bored. I'm like, why not? So I totally.
I
And
think
Gold
part of
Petey.
the others 100% comes down to being bored or not. Like, if
I
I'm actually busy at work and like I'm traveling all the time, then I'm like that's the only time I'm saving is like when I don't get to play the game. But the more I play the
Oh my
game,
gosh.
the more I invest.
Well, I mean, it's also a mental thing. I always feel like, you know, with being in the ER and being in the community for so long, I always feel like I have to live up to a standard. And, you know, the moment, like, if someone sees me go, and someone's like, well, what the hell happened to you? And I always have to think about what Frenzy Fangirl is like. No one's going to give a crap what you think the next day. And you know, it's true. It's just a mental thing. Like, I always, you know, I have such, you know, I feel like I have to like get to this kind of ranking or else I'm a failure. And again, I have problems, and I'll talk with my therapist tomorrow. So
I wonder if they made it so you can see how many tickets your friends are saving. I wonder if that would make it easier to save.
Natalie would text me like her ticket stash, and I'm like, God.
But what I'm saying is, like, you can check
She-
your friends list and like, if okay, this person's not scoring well, but oh, they have a massive ticket stash. They're up to something. Versus
Yeah.
just seeing the low score, but
That'd be kind of
No
cool. I don't
ticket.
know.
Well,
That
shout
would
out
be
to
interesting.
Frenzy Fanboy.
It's
too.
like
I
your
mean,
rich
like
he
he saved up until that
drives
Bowser
an old
tour,
car.
Yeah.
right? I mean, he saved up
That's-
until the Bowser tour. It was pretty amazing to see him go kind of all in on that
Yeah.
one tour, and it made it really fun and exciting and things like that. And it's one of the reasons why I want to start hoarding. And then I say that, and I think that everyone's been talking about Gold Petey, but I know a lot of people that invested in that Gold Trickster, and just like all the other tricksters.
Mhm.
That's going to be the trick right there. It's just not going to have the coverage. I went 6,595 on it pretty much right away because it helped me in 3 courses. So, and I love it. It's like the best looking cart to me.
it's so cool.
I
So
love
cool.
the thing. Yeah, and I just know it's going to be the biggest trick of this Halloween.
It's a
like,
good. I
tour.
mean, it's a good sized cart. Whenever you invest in a decent size, it's never a failure.
Yeah, but I hope it does. I hope it has a better outcome than the last 2 tricksters. So
I think the Gold Pass
We've
cards would be
always been
something
super
notable.
skeptical. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, looking at the Gold Sweet Rise buffs, which was last tour's Gold Pass gift, it got some pretty nice buffs this tour. It got 2 new tracks, if I'm not mistaken. I think I'm going to keep it short, but they're going to adjust how they give value to Gold Pass items to get more people on Gold Pass. And I think you can expect good things out of this Golden Trickster.
I hope so.
That'd be awesome.
I hope so.
I hope
I mean,
not.
on these-
I didn't invest in it. I went in on that vampire flare. And StudFit, why didn't you go in on that?
Spider-Man player.
Isn't it
I am
smaller?
disappointed in you, my friend.
No, I love the original one. The original one looks sick. The new
Oh
one,
yeah.
the new one looks like hot garbage. I'll be honest with you.
Oh,
It's got to me, it's like the Galaxy Glider with the Yukon ribbon, man. It's
you
like
are
they're
you are
very
dead
different
to
from
me,
each
my
other.
friend.
One looks
Oh.
awesome. The other one,
It's
it
not
just
black.
it's not black. It's not like it's not
Oh.
like it's not vampire. It's not it's
Oh, I'm gonna have to go to not a dud tier now.
I didn't do
Oh,
Hey, by the way, same thing with the Crawley cart. I think the original looks awesome. I think the new one looks the red one doesn't look good. That's just my
Completely
opinion.
agree. Completely agree.
So going back to your coverage discussion, if they keep on releasing massive amounts of tracks, everything is going to get filtered around.
That's
So
true.
everybody's items that they want to get good coverage on, it's all going to come through.
And you know, that's the other part we were talking about is like these gold items we've always felt like have been like notoriously bad. But I've seen more people invest in either the gold sweet ride or the gold trickster. I've seen more people invest in gold carts this tour than any other tour I remember.
The gold,
yeah.
Coors Light can has been pretty sneaky good.
What's that?
Zucchini's been a disappointment.
What is it? What was it? It's like the Bullet Bill one, the Bullet Blaster.
Oh,
The Gold
yeah.
Bullet Blaster. It was Chuck's card.
Those things handle terribly.
I've got a guy in rank this week who has it. I don't remember what track it's on, but he has it at 8 triple capped. It's like, are you serious?
It's the
Like,
first
dang
track
it.
in ranked this week. Yeah, I'm using
That's wild.
4-1.
Likes his
Oh my
Coors
God.
Light.
Gosh.
I say that guy might need your therapist there, Jeeves. Raker adds 2 cents to it. He says, why would you buy a new item with uncertain value? We can buy it at the regular spotlight 4 or 5 tours later. He provides 3 reasons. One, the starting tracks are very good for your account, and maybe you need it for ranked right away. 2, if you don't buy it right away, you miss its initial peak. 4 or 5 tours with at least 1 ranked track in each tour. Specifically for free to play or for gold pass only accounts, the initial ranked value of a brand new item is huge, as you don't have top shelf on every track, or at least not high levels on every track. If the current trend though of 8+ new tracks each tour will continue, then this argument only gets stronger. So to kind of think about that peak, if that's the way it is. Now, we'll talk about that here in a second, because I don't necessarily think that will always work out that way. But in that case, it's not just for ranked, but also for all cup ranking, as these new tracks show up twice in the tour. For example, this Halloween tour, we only have 34 unique tracks. And then 3, you may not get it in the first tour. It shows up as the regular spotlight shop. We'll need to use a ton of quick tickets. We don't have a lot of data yet, but as we've seen this tour, the number of items in 1 slot can be quite great. The tour we have 6 carts with high odds, mostly low value carts, 25 with normal odds, and 10 gold carts with low odds. Say you weren't looking for one particular cart in the normal odds category. The odds of this cart showing up in one of the other slots are only 2.7, or about 15% in any slot on any day. If you need it for week 1 ranked, there's a decent chance you won't get it before week 1 is done. Furthermore, about 10% of players won't see the specific item in 14 shops. We've also seen anecdotal evidence on servers about this with the Lightning Streamliner. We saw it, I think, with Nugsy as one example, but many others who were longing for it. It took them over a tour to get it. So there you go. I think, he brings up some good points there about, when we get access to these. I think when it's a spotlight, it's there. I mean, it's no different price. That's one thing I was really surprised about, is I was expecting like new spotlight items to be like 200 rubies or 250 rubies or something like that. But they're the same amount of rubies. It doesn't hurt you to just, like the Panini, pick it up and stash it. Maybe it's good, maybe it isn't, but at least you have it. I don't know. I feel like it's more attractive than waiting. I know, like when Ansel and I were doing the rundown for a while, he would say, I sometimes will get something, but then I'll wait, till it hits that peak, and I wait for 4 or 5 tours to see what it looks like, and then invest in it. I'm like, by then, you've already missed 2 or 3 ranks. You've already missed like its peak. So yeah, there's certainly this cat and mouse of when to invest in it, when to get it. But I think he brings up some good points about how often we've seen tracks. Anyone want to kind of piggyback off of anything he said there?
I think it depends on the account. Obviously, I think if you're a collector, I obviously don't think it's is a big a choice, in terms of like with the Panini. It's like, well, okay, if I missed out on it, well, I have like pretty much every other glider in the game. I think I'll be okay. Whereas if you're kind of new, or you don't collect and whatever, then there's more like meat to it. There's more important, the importance level just got high. So I mean, yeah, I really think it depends on that. And as the game goes on, I think the longer the game goes on, I think it's going to be more important to get those new items, because there's going to be new tracks, new variants, all that stuff. So I think like if you're a collector, you can probably hold off on it because you would probably have something in place and you can use tickets to level up. But yeah,
I mean, I think it depends on what kind of player you are. From like the silver candlelight flight, I love lightning gliders. I love the candles, but the item gave me no tracks, and I just could not justify picking it up without investing in it. For me, so I'm like mainly a gold pass player. I would have the only way I could justify picking something up, unless it's like near and dear to my heart or something, but it would have to give me some tracks, and I would have to like immediately plan on investing. I can't justify just stashing items. Otherwise,
I'm hoping it's like the brown off-roader, honestly.
That one is ooh.
You know what they can do now because of the number of like track inventory they have. It's increasingly themed, and they because the problem I love stuff like the lightning gliders and the dark stuff.
Oh yeah.
And they're all on like the Ghost Valleys and the Bowser Castles. So I can tell with the Silver Candlelight that this is going to get buffs of stuff where I've already got 8s because it's like the kind of glider I like. And I mean,
exactly.
But I bought it anyway.
Yeah, that's why I'm having trouble on like the donut planes because I don't invest in these items that are like donut planes worthy. So
I don't know. When I look at an item when it comes out fresh, look at the coverage. If it gives me 4 tracks off the bat that I don't have, either A, don't have coverage on, or B, very weak coverage on, it's an instant win. If I take it level up to 6,595 and I see where it goes. Because if you spend rubies on it, you bought it for a reason, not to just sit in your stash. I got stuff that sit in the stash that I pulled for because it's going to be the next great thing, but it never did. If the new item, I wish I can be some of you guys who like pull for some things that you like and invest in things that you like King Boo. You don't care. You just King Boo it up. You know, I don't
have anything?
But I can't. No, I mean, I just try to play this cheating game. Like I look at my coverage and look at my resources and try to like, you know, pick the right horse and see if it wins, you know. The big thing is initial coverage. If it starts off strong with me, I mean, I'll throw tickets at it and ride it for a while. And I try to do that like every, I don't know, couple tours and just kind of ride each individual wave, hitting peaks. And while one's unpeaking, I have another item that's going to peak. Make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I will say though, there was a moment there where I was like, you know, riding those peaks. And then it got to the point where it wasn't necessarily depressing, but it was kind of sad to think like, all right, so like if I'm peaking now, but then there's going to be like 4 tracks released next tour, you know, and or 8 tracks released next tour, and then I'm going to be behind, and then I got to try to ride that peak, and then you're like always trying to ride the next peak. I know it was a little over. I had a day where I had like an epiphany. It became a little overwhelming. I'm literally trying to just live in the future. I'm just like literally trying to have coverage in the future, and it just felt never ending. I don't know. To me, it was a tough reality to think of. But I love the thought process there.
This is the first tour where like I mean, as long as I've been playing this game, I've never, lack of better terms, like they did it all. Like, I mean, I don't think unless you're a Webby of the world, I mean, you don't have coverage.
Yeah, exactly. No, one thing I will say though, I thought was really interesting. I was going to bring it up earlier, but you guys were having such good conversation. Insolent mentioned on the rundown, I think he said something like there were 12 tracks that got no buffs whatsoever this tour. So, you know, it's like when we're thinking about like, and I might have gotten that number wrong, but like when we're thinking about like, oh, this track has, you know, haven't seen this track, haven't seen these tracks, but there is like some kind of, for whatever reason, a number of like buffs that they'll give to a X number of items for every tour. It might be a percentage or something. And most of the buffs that we saw weren't actually tracks that we wanted. It was, you know, battle tracks. You know, it was this I remember the name of it. The battle track we've been talking about a couple times, the Spotlight or the Haunted House.
Twilight House.
Yes, there you go. So like that track got, you know, each, you know, I don't know, 12 to 15 drivers, 12 to 15 carts, 12 to 15 gliders. But then there were, you know, other tracks who never got any buffs. So I don't know. It's really, really odd.
I think he was talking about the gold and the silver and I think the bronze Miis suits. They didn't see any buffs.
But there were
Well,
in the
I
third
actually need to add to
or the
that.
second tier.
That is correct, but
yeah,
go on, sorry.
No, that's
Well, I think what's I'm noticing is it's the older tracks that they're not buffing. It's not, I don't think it's the items. I think it's the tracks. Because he pointed out like the Luigi Mansion and the Airship Fortress. These are old tracks, but they also have very large top shelves, 15 plus items. I think the tracks, I mean, there's no like hard limit, but Nintendo doesn't want to keep adding on items on these tracks to give them like 30, 40. So you'll see these old tracks just not really get buffs. And the majority of the buffs, the lion's share, will go to these new donut planes and remix Bowser's Castle and whatnot.
Well, I think that but when we say like, hey, this cart hasn't seen, 80 tracks, but what if all 80 of those are old tracks like you're referring to, that they're not going to add to it? Then should we not look at that stat, and should that be not something we weigh as heavy?
I think just look at like the number of tracks, and if it's like 80, maybe expect like 1 or 2, very little. If they're all like mostly old tracks or like old RTs you haven't seen in a year, I would consider that driver pretty much done, because these items always get that last like lingering buff or two. I think Gold Me got that. I think Gold Me is close to being done. He got that Donut Plains 1 RT, the SNES one, a couple tours ago. I don't know, out of nowhere. Like I feel like those are the lingering buffs they'll like top off the item's value with.
Yeah, but there's also been other situations, kind of like this yellow off-roader, where they'll give it a new buff for no reason. And I do think that the gold Miis suit, they still want to keep it as like the most coveted item in the game currently. And so I do think that they will treat the gold Miis suit very, very differently, to where maybe they'll get a couple extra trickle buffs later on.
I hope so.
Well, Luigi's Knight, he got 3 new tracks, but only one of them was Luigi's Mansion RT. Like I would have expected him to maybe get, maybe 2 or 3 of those tracks just because, his name's on it. But I guess they have too many Luigis on there. They didn't want to do that. So, but I mean, I do see a trend of like, I remember when we were waiting for some of these old courses for Meowser to see, and maybe he just get 1 or 2 or whatever here or there, and he got a lot of tracks, don't get me wrong, but he missed on some that I thought he was going to get for sure. Same with that Fire Manta glider for me. Like that, there's just there isn't any consistency in some of these things. Boo Lake, I feel like that Boo glider should have gotten the majority of those tracks, and it got I think 2 of them.
It got 2. It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's
no.
not terrible.
Especially for like a glider that's been around only for a couple months.
Yeah, it's not terrible. I would have loved to see it get 3. I mean, that's the thing though. We want it to be like, those names kind of go with it, and it just, especially if you invested in it and it's an awesome looking glider.
It shared those buffs with Ghost Valley, so I think like they buffed it adequately. They can't give it like 10 buffs, because we saw all the Luigi's Mansion, the Ghost Valley, Boo Lake, those are all fit the Boo masks. They can't give it like 8 buffs. So I think they split it up fairly.
It got what? You got the
8 buffs would have been fine.
Yeah. No, it's interesting there. And then I kind of wanted to touch back on something TIlikum said about some of these baddie versus goodie items. It's one of the reasons why I was so excited about the Shielded Speedsters, that most of my carts that I invested in have been baddies, thinking about Silver King and some of these bad carts. I don't know, does that ever impact whether you invest in something, as whether it's do I mostly have bad items or good items, or especially for carts?
I like bad cards. Constant struggle. I refuse to buff a lot of the cards.
I mean, some of these bad items, they just look so cool, or it's hard. Like I know I should be investing in like these like pink cards, or these like yellow or white or whatever, but these like the red off-road, or these ninja items or whatever, like the enemy items, gliders, cards, they just look cool. They cover tracks I like. I mean, it's hard to not invest in those items, just from what I like.
And there's a lot of big carts too. Like I'm looking at it right now. The last cart that I invested in that was a good guy cart was the Frostwing, and it's kind of been a disappointment all year. I mean, I'm hoping it's going to come back, but that was the one that I did. But everything else has been pretty much baddies with the off-roaders and just all these. I mean, the best one for me early on was the Crawley cart, and I mean, they look like everyone says, they look cool.
Oh yeah,
they really do look cool. And then they just have these amazing hitboxes, and they're just gigantic. So it's been really fun to see that. Like my big investment when I first started playing again was Piranha Pipes, and I have not been disappointed in that card. It's been amazing. So, and it looks so cool when you got the set, which I think they put it on like one of the Boo Lakes. They got the whole set together again, which is just awesome. So
yeah, the Boo Lake R with PD set.
It's awesome.
Does that ever impact? Do you ever look at your carts and be like, "Wow, I do need to invest in a pink cart," or "I do need one of these capsules," or I don't know. Does that ever like sway your decision?
Nope.
I think it
my favorite
should.
color. Purple's my favorite. If they do a purple cart, like a real cool looking, like big bad off-roader in purple, I'll take that to an 8 immediately if I have the tickets. But you know, it's got to be a big cart. I mean, if it's a little baby cart, I'm not doing anything with it.
I mean, CAC B is kind of like purple pink. Yeah,
The cact B was.
B
Is that the one?
I
you're
did
talking
that
about?
one.
It's
That
kinda-
one. That one. It was borderline,
gosh.
but then it was useful, so I buffed it.
Oh, I wish I'd.
I didn't. I'm not huge on the hearts, but it's black, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks great.
Not huge with the hearts. Yeah, well, and then Crazi, you bring up a good point, is that like we also like the tracks that it gets buffed on too. So like there is something about playing on basically any track that's not Donut Plains, or you know, any track
or
that's
Choco
not
Island or whatever.
Choco Island or Mario Circuit. It's like that's what the good guys get. They get these lame tracks too, you know, versus you know, a cool new Bowser's Castle or new Boo Lake, etc.
Airship Fortress. Yeah, awesome tracks.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then kind of this will be like a last question before we I can't believe we're almost at 2 hours, but Raker asks, why do you think they release so few new items in the Spotlight shop? You know, we just kind of have you know, this one glider, one driver. So in this tour, we just have one glider. Do you think Nintendo made 2 coinbox drivers of the last 3 introduced on purpose gold, so that they have a much lower chance of showing up in the Spotlight shop? Do you think more gold coinbox drivers are on the horizon? Why are we getting so many coinbox drivers? It really becomes hard to get a lobby without any.
I think it's because I think people will spend tickets on coinbox drivers, and when people spend tickets, they can't spend tickets on other stuff, so they want to keep it interesting, which I think is a good strategy. And to be honest with you, I mean, when they put out, you know, Gold Chuck and King Mario and all this stuff, I mean, there's obviously controversy around that, but I think it was just trying to. I think they're trying to get to a point where everyone won't take the coinbox drivers to 7 double cap right away. And I think they succeeded in that, because like I haven't done anything with Gold Chuck. I haven't done anything with with King Mario.
Mhm.
I only did it with P because I didn't spend the tickets on those 2, and they put them in ranks, so it was a little bit more of an, you know, it was a little, you know, that's how they're turning us. So with the more coinbox drivers, I wouldn't be surprised if they put in more.
Well, let me ask Raker's question in a different phrase. Do you think that all the gold coinbox drivers we'll see going forward will all be gold alts?
No, because there haven't been. I mean, they don't have any. I mean, in the past they haven't had any.
Since the Spotlight shop has come up, though,
I think Gold Kamek is going to be out there, and I don't think he's going to be coinbox.
Wow.
No,
I mean, the regular has Coinbox, so
regular is
it would be
coinbox.
a bit strange if they like overlapped them with the same
Right.
skill.
Yeah, I want to see what happens with
What if King Mario is the last non-gold coinbox driver that we
I think there's going to be a Luigi that's not.
yeah. Are there any Luigis? There aren't.
No, I think there's still a Luigi that's going to be out there that's going to be coinbox.
Gold Luigi next tour confirmed.
You heard it here first, people. ThisBeChris said it, and if it doesn't happen, I will give you his number, email, and you can let him know your frustration.
Wow.
And they could have released a Luigi Mansion Luigi with a new skill.
I've always wondered why there
Points.
hasn't been. I've always wondered why there hasn't been a Luigi coinbox. Isn't that weird?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Luigi's
On
still
the-
number 2, so.
Go to
So on the
Luigi.
Raker question, you know, this spring and summer, Nintendo was flooding us
Mhm.
with unprecedented numbers of new carts. There was like 5 carts one tour, 2 or 3. It used to be you wouldn't even get a glider every tour. Now it was like, so they sort of flooded it, and so now I think they can dial it back because they've spread everyone's coverage so thin. It's
been like
turning
that
now.
for
This
so
is a
long.
leveling stage of the game. Like
It's
you're supposed to
been like
level
that.
stuff up.
it's been like that for so long. I mean, Tabor. Remember when Tabor was really like, there's so many carts. Like he said, I've done a count and there's 170 carts, and that was Tabor.
But it's increased. I remember it was like 2 or 3 carts. Then wasn't it like 4 or 5 tours in a row? It was like 4 or 5 carts.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're
2020,
basically there was no way you couldn't keep up, and so now they can slow it down, and people still have to catch up. And the whole
We couldn't keep up a year and a half
to
ago.
level up. That's what they want you to do. They want you to level up stuff with that shop.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
No way.
I think that it really comes down to, you know, I mean, this is new, not only to us, but to them. I don't think they know what our trends are yet with this new game. So, because it is basically a new game. Like they missed the mark with me with battle mode, but like for a lot of people, they really enjoy it. I think that we're going to see some changes to ranked eventually, because that's a big part of the game for a lot of us. I mean, StudFit does not sound competitive enough, that's for sure. When you're talking about some of these things. So
I mean, I'm on like a 200 streak or something like that for a top 100. So that's what I love doing. That's my favorite part. Of
yeah.
it. Ranked is okay, but yeah, that's what drives me. So
I think there's still some trends, and I think the gold pass is going to be a huge deal. For what you said, I think they are going for, you know, trying to get 2, 3, 4 million more people on gold pass instead of having people whale it out, and then you know, get people invested in this game. And you know, I mean, $60, what is it? It's $60 a year to get a lot of stuff, you know. I know that I had Frenzy Fans list up here. They just had like the little Halloween tour. It was sent out by Alyssa on Discord, or Alicia. Sorry, I don't want to butcher your name, but you know, I mean, they're not giving a ton of rubies. They're not giving a ton of coins. They are giving a decent amount of tickets still, though. You know, those really haven't changed. But I mean, even with the premium challenge, you get 63,500 coins. That's not a lot of tickets to buy. 285 rubies. Yeah, we got an extra 120, all of us that had the gold pass, you know, this tour, but that's 285. That's not enough to buy. If they did have, I know one of the questions was like, it was going to be, you know, is it going to be like, will they have just the cart, the glider, or like just a driver every time with the glider, because they haven't had a cart show up and things like that. I mean, they're not going to give us enough rubies, even if you buy all the stuff to get all the items. So that's, I mean, you know, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And then like, well, you have to buy a pack, but you have to be a Jeeves and buy a pack, and in order to get all the items. And then what happens when, you know, StudFit, who doesn't have, and I'm saying, just using you as an example, who doesn't have coverage, like, and they have 3 new items and they'll give you coverage, you know, what will you do? So there's still a lot of unknowns out there, and I still think, I really do, I think they're trying some things out right now on us, and beta testing us, basically. That's what's going on. So
this is
what happens.
Yeah, humans sniffing the alien sniffing the human, like
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Well, good, guys. I mean, and I think that's one of the reasons why I was so ecstatic to have you all on. And I know we don't normally have 7 guests, but this gives us an opportunity. Again, we're at this pivotal moment where we're now 2 tours into this spotlight shop. We're now 2 tours into like this new normal, and we're starting to kind of pick up on a few trends, some that we've talked about, some that we may not even know yet. So I'm so honored to have each and every one of you on this episode. It was so fun to discuss these, especially around the spotlight shop. But we're at the end of the show. We're literally wrapping up 2 whole hours here together. I can't believe it. It's flown by. So typically what we do here in this part of the episode is, you know, providing one piece of advice that we would have to a newer player. So even think about somebody who started at the anniversary, just like literally doesn't know their butt from their elbow. They are just literally trying to figure things out, but it doesn't, you know, the past doesn't matter. You know, special pipes don't matter. Like, what advice would you give to them in this new normal, to this new player? And Jeeves, I mean, we might as well start with you. You've given more advice than probably the rest of the call combined.
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me on again, and I was actually just thinking, I said that this is, I think this is my first episode with like completely new. I don't think I've ever been on with any of you guys. So I just want to say it's been
Even ThisBeChris?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Have we? Okay, well then I forgot about you, dude.
Oh,
Whatever.
One unforgettable episode.
But with the other guys, it's just it's an incredible honor to sit and talk about this amazing game. So it's been a really pleasure doing this. So
I've been watching your pipe pulling parties for a while. So
well, they're not going to happen anymore, unfortunately. But,
you can't wait. You can't get on and wait one time. No.
Yeah, no,
The
but
pipes are closed.
it's great to meet some new faces. I think you guys are all huge pillars of the community, every one of you. So anyway, as a new player, I think the first thing, now that we're 3 years in, I think with so much stuff out there already as it is, I would just say don't be afraid to just pull the trigger on something. I think one of the things I always hear is like whenever you take something to a certain level and cap it and stuff, it's going to have some kind of value, no matter if it has crappy coverage or whatever. It's going to be important. So don't be afraid to do something if you like it. If it's going to help you on a tour, don't be afraid to do it, and don't be upset if it doesn't work out in future tours, because the tickets are gonna come back. So that's kind of what's on the, and kind of every time this question comes up, I feel like I'm being put on the spot because I got to think about something. But there's just so much stuff out there. So you're just gonna have to just pull the trigger on something to do it. So don't be afraid to do it, and don't be afraid if it works out. If it doesn't, then it'll happen again.
And everything's gonna get 20+ tracks. So
Absolutely.
you're gonna, and like the Wicked Topaz was an early investment I made, and I was questioning it for quite some time. Eventually it was great. So everything will become good enough for your tickets to be worth it. I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, ThisBeChris, you want to give a piece of advice to a newer player, maybe that's 2 tours in?
You're on mute, dude.
You're on mute if you're saying anything.
Sorry about that. Sorry, yeah. So for a super new player, I would say anything that's in those top 10 lists on the rundown is going to serve you well. If it's something you can pick up in a spotlight shop or something, if you've got the rubies, none of those items will let you down. And I had something else, but I forgot. So thanks for watching all the way to the end, new player.
Yeah, thank you, ThisBeChris. That's always a welcomed plug. Bobcat, what would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I was trying to contemplate, like, we've talked about a lot of different things. I've been on now. This is my 3rd one in a row. So, there's definitely something to getting out in the community and definitely getting to know people and those kinds of things. But honestly, like, we're all noobs again, because this is a new game. So I mean, I don't know if I have the best advice to you. I still say hoard right now. Hoard. That's the opposite of what G says, but I just say hoard right now.
I'm saying it, I don't practice it.
Yeah. until rank becomes more something you want to do. But let's say you're just playing for battle mode. I mean, play this game the way you want to play it and have fun doing it. That's the best advice I think anybody can give is just like whatever you want this game to be, let this game be that, and honestly get out in the community and find other people. I mean, there may be a Discord that's not even started right now that you can start, like a battle Discord or something like that. I mean, there's tons of things that you can do and be a part of a community. So, and it's been really fun being on with all of you guys as well. So thank you.
Good points there, Bobcat. What would you say, BigBroLo?
Honestly, for a new player, I'm jealous of you because you got a clean slate. Whatever you want, you can experiment with any type of skill, any driver. Take the thing that you like the most out of the Mario franchise and invest in them and just ride it. Take the skill that you have the most fun playing with. For me, I love the giant banana. It is so much fun, but I can't other them because there's so many overlaps for me. So as a fresh, clean slate player, you can just go heavy into giant banana or whatever it might be. I'm jealous of you, E-Deedle, who took all the giant banana drivers all the way to 8. Wish I can do it, but I can't. Different game. I play the min and max game. I do as little as I possibly can to win. and I covet my tickets. I hoard them and I just keep them like my precious, like my little emblems of just victory. Anyways, new player, I'm jealous. Find what you like. And if you like the design of a glider, go for it. Whatever card it is, go for it. Driver, go for it. Have fun. Find what's fun for you this game and just maximize it.
Love it. Little drop the mic moment there. Crazi, what would you say to a newer player? What advice would you give them?
Well, a lot of these gentlemen here, they listed some excellent advice I would like to give as well. I mean, invest, you can, like BigBroLo said, you can carve your own path. You can choose what excites you to invest in. You can, the game, I mean, the meta can seem narrow at times, but you can be surprised at how far you can stretch out like how to account, and you'll still succeed. Nintendo they'll shape your progress around your account, so you'll do fine regardless. Any unique advice, I think, as a really new player, just please learn how to drift. Manual drift is my recommendation. Just get the lines down, learn how to like squeeze in those extra mini turbos, pick up those extra coins. I mean, doing a few of those, that's saving you a ticket already. That's 800,000 points. Just maximize your lines, maximize how to drift. Lots of great, you can just watch. I know Carlos has videos of him teaching you. So just maximize your lines, learn how to drift. You'll get lots of points. It can even save you tickets.
Yeah, learning how to manual drive is quite a chore. It took me way longer than I probably needed to. But it's
a learning curve, yeah.
It is a learning curve. Once you do it, man, it's so fun to Professor Jay said it before, like the way that you actually have the drift mechanics is actually very similar to the way that you drift in real life. You have to have your tire a certain angle and whatnot. But yeah, it's hard to learn at first, but it's definitely well worth it. Again, we're all here after 3 years of doing it because getting these combos, the RNG of it all. Yeah, I'm with you there 100%. TIlikum, what advice would you have for a newer player starting the game?
Sure. I was just saying, I manual drifted from the first time, so I don't even know how to do the other way. But so everyone gave such good general advice. This is a little bit speculative, but this is going to go with, we're coming into the winter months and the theming of the game. And there was a question we didn't get to. It was about newer players and what gliders to buy out of daily selects. This is a cart and it's not in daily selects, but I think it'll be in, what's it called now? The Spotlight Shop. But if you ever see the Cream Bee Dasher Mark II, it has almost all snowy tracks. So we're going to have a bunch of snowy tracks in the next 4 or 5 months. I think would be a really nice card to have.
That is some investigative work right there, my friend.
Well, I level it up immediately, and I just noticed it every time. It was like Frap Stowland, Vanilla Lake, and it was real useful last winter. But yeah,
that's awesome.
And they're nice looking carts. I think a lot of people desire them, but that's going to be the useful one from November to March.
Fantastic.
Yeah, he doesn't believe in the frost wing either. You see that?
Cacti.
Cacti.
It's all about the gold snow skimmer, man. That's like my
snow skimmer. Yeah. I got the ice dozer was the one I'm riding.
Ice dozer was pretty good a little bit this year, man. I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it had ice.
I'm a fan of the dozers, so.
My ice champion card is the white snow skimmer. I mean, I think we all can have that like one ice card that just carries us through the winter. And there's a lot of them now, so you have some options.
Yeah, but the cream, I swear, like 90% of the tracks are snow tracks. I got almost nothing else.
It's interesting. It is interesting when some of these cards get all those. I think there was somebody else who was asking me like, should I invest in this or this? And I remember looking at the coverage and I think it was maybe the Silver King. Silver King had a lot of, DK summits and DK stuff, a lot of vanilla lake stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting to see those things. And so for me, I would look forward to these special pipes, right? A nice special pipe with, the ice dozer and the frost wing. And I load up all these ice carts and then you basically don't use them for the other seasons all year round. It's really, really tough. So yeah, it's a good point though, is you will be able to use it though for the next 3 months. So get ready and don't hesitate on pulling the trigger there. Well, great suggestions, guys. I think for newer players, I loved what you guys talked about with having a clean slate, but we're all learning together. So that would be my recommendation is don't feel like you're out of the know. You probably know more than we are because you're not subjected to all the past, the old life. And so, I think from this perspective, pick up what you're hearing, but also be willing to kind of, form your own opinion and start to kind of like see things your own way. Cause I bet you probably have a better, clearer view of what's actually happening than some of us who are so used to still doing things just because the way we did it, getting packs or, getting certain items. So thank you guys all for joining. We are now, well over 2 hours, but I honestly am so thankful for each and every one of you for joining us this evening. Those viewers at home, if you haven't liked or subscribed the video, we'd appreciate that. We hit 2,000 subscribers. We'll see. It actually continues steam. We're pretty close to 2,100 and we'll see where it goes from there. But I'm really excited to have this community. I absolutely love everything we're doing. And so even when I'm like, sick or having a busy week at work, I absolutely love spending time with these groups of people and love hanging out. So thank you guys so much. And so until the rundown, may the friends of luck be with you guys.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
This is